Marriage used to be the ultimate milestone for every man. It was like, hey, you're not a real adult until you're married. But today, that's totally not the case anymore. For so many modern men, marriage feels like a choice, and sometimes it feels more like a responsibility they'd rather not deal with. Crazy, right? This isn't just about skipping traditions, it's about a whole new way of thinking, a cultural shift that's turning the old rules upside down. For centuries, society handed men this script: get a stable job, marry a lovely woman, have kids, and live happily ever after. Sounds good, right? But here's the thing. For a lot of guys, that script felt like a straitjacket. They were stuck playing a role that didn't let them figure out who they really were. It's like, be a good provider, but forget about your own dreams. I mean, seriously? Fast forward to today, and men are flipping the script. They're not about to let societal expectations define their worth anymore. Instead, they're focused on living authentically, chasing dreams, and discovering who they are beyond traditional roles. Marriage? It's no longer a checkpoint on the road to manhood. It's an option, a bonus, if it supports their personal growth. This change isn't just about skipping tradition, it's part of a bigger cultural shift. Men are rethinking what it means to be a man, focusing on freedom and personal growth instead of following old rules. This shift also changes how men see marriage. It's no longer a required step into adulthood, but an option that should add to their happiness and personal growth. Instead of getting married out of duty, many men now wait for relationships that truly support their values and goals. Freedom isn't just about dodging the whole "till death do us part" thing. For men today, it's about having the space to explore life on their own terms. Solo travel? Hell yeah. Starting a business or diving into a creative passion? Even better. I swear there's this whole vibe of stepping away from societal expectations and saying, you know what, I'm going to do what makes me happy. That's huge. It's not about being selfish. It's about living a life that's true to who they are. And yeah, that sometimes means putting off marriage to focus on personal growth. But let's be clear. It's not about rejecting love. It's about making sure that love, when it happens, fits into a life they've built authentically. Sounds good, right? Modern relationships are a major reason why many men don't feel the need to get married anymore. These contemporary setups offer the freedom and flexibility to build connections without the lifelong commitment and responsibilities that come with marriage. Okay, let's talk about relationships for a second. Casual dating and live-in arrangements are the go-to setups for a lot of men these days. Why? Because they offer connection without all the traditional marital baggage. It's like, we can love each other, but we don't need a piece of paper to prove it. Crazy, but it works. For many men, these relationships provide the same emotional and physical connection as marriage, but without the pressures of traditional roles or legal obligations. These modern relationships thrive on open communication and mutual respect. No bullshit, just honesty. When both partners are upfront about what they want, it's easier to build something meaningful without feeling tied down. A crucial factor contributing to the decline in marriage rates is the rising cost of living. Managing a married life often involves significant financial commitments, from housing and childcare to healthcare and education. For many men, these economic challenges make marriage less feasible. A 2022 research survey found that 40% of unmarried adults pointed to financial instability as their main reason for not getting hitched. Can you blame them? For men, especially in big cities, rent alone can eat up most of their paycheck. Couples may struggle to save for milestones like buying a home or starting a family, adding stress to relationships. Add student loans and stagnant wages to the mix, and marriage starts to look like an unnecessary financial risk. It's not that they don't want to settle down, it's that they're prioritizing stability first. Makes sense, right? Now here's a wild card. With the internet at everyone's fingertips, adult content has become this massive escape hatch. I mean, think about it. Porn is always there, 24/7, and it asks for nothing in return. No emotional investment, no compromise, no disappointments. For some guys, it's a no-brainer. You get to live out fantasies that might be impossible or unrealistic in real life, and for some, that's a deal too sweet to pass up. Over time, this creates a comfort zone that's hard to break out of. A bubble of instant gratification that makes the real-world challenges of relationships seem like a burden. That's crazy, right? It's not just about the content itself. It's about how it shifts priorities. Men are finding comfort in the artificial over the authentic, choosing fleeting pleasures over lasting bonds. It's a cultural shift that's changing the very fabric of relationships, and it raises some big questions about where we're headed. If we don't address this head-on, the idea of marriage might continue to lose its appeal for an entire generation of men. Let's zoom out for a sec. When fewer men marry, it's not just a personal choice, it changes everything. With fewer marriages, there are fewer births, and many countries are feeling the impact. For instance, Japan's fertility rate in 2022 was just 1.3 children per woman, far below the replacement rate of 2.1. This leads to an aging population with too few young people to support the economy, causing issues like labor shortages and rising healthcare costs. Marriage often provides a built-in support system, and without it, some men may struggle with loneliness and isolation. Research shows single men are more likely to feel lonely compared to married men, increasing the risk of mental health problems like depression and anxiety. The traditional family structure has long been tied to economic stability. When fewer men marry, spending on things like homes, childcare, and family-related services drops. For example, single men under 40 in the US have a 20% lower home ownership rate compared to their married peers. Women who want to marry and have children might find it harder to find partners, creating a societal imbalance. This could lead to increased stress for women trying to start families, potentially widening gender inequalities. In cultures that highly value marriage, this decline can lead to a clash between traditional and modern values. These shifts may cause generational divides and resistance to change, creating tension within societies adapting to new norms. It's wild how times have changed. For modern men, freedom, personal growth, and financial stability are the new priorities. Marriage isn't off the table, but it's not the default anymore. And while this shift opens doors for self-discovery, it also brings challenges for relationships and society. Balancing this new mindset with the realities of life? That's the tricky part. What's your take on this? Do you think men are making the right call prioritizing freedom over traditional commitments? Comment down below. I'd love to hear your perspective. If you ask me, the solution is simple. Always believe in a higher power. It grounds you, gives you direction, and makes everything, love, freedom, career, marriage, fall into place automatically. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this.